Folks, I know you haven't seen me for a while. I did put a couple videos up on this channel, and I ended up taking them down. I think a couple short, very short videos. And I don't know what I'm going to do with this either, but something's concerning me. I'm working on a video on the pre-tribulation lie, basically, but that's not what this video is about. So we're not going to get into that, except, I've got verses where I'm working on showing that it doesn't say what people think it says, and people think it's nice and they want to believe it, and I don't blame them, because so would I. But if you're going to get out of here, like if Jesus could come back at any time, well, first the Antichrist has to be revealed and the seventh trump has to blow. So, yeah, that's not going to happen like tomorrow. Guaranteed. But at any rate, I've seen so many people that are homeless on the street. And, I watched rent go from $400 to $1,400 a month. in places in 4 years, The rich people just keep buying up property. I see the ads all the time on Craigslist. We help people. We solve people's problem. No, you're creating the problem. It's because you're buying their property real cheap, because in some cases you can. And I used to flag them all, and you can't keep up with it. I just give up. Because I was tired of these rich people coming in here and just buying up all the properties, and then they fix them up, and then they rent them at a super high price. And people that used to have apartments and houses now don't. They're living in tents and cars, and it's illegal now to do that, right? You get that? It's all systematic. And I listen to people how they're paying $8 for pizza sauce. $20 for dog treats. I seen where a side of fish that I seen in a store myself was like $60 for a fillet. $60, folks, for a fillet of fish. I know how to survive. I don't know how bad I know it's going to get bad. I can't say as well. I don't know how bad it's going to get. It's going to get really bad. It's going to get so bad, people are going to starve. Famine is coming, and part of it's man-made. Because I watched how farmers are being paid to plow their fields under, paid to dump milk in the field, paid to dump oil in the roads. And this has been going on for 4 or 5 years now. Paid not to farm. Folks, that's creating a famine. Although there is weather anomalies, but see, some of that's created, but then some of it is not. Some of it is cyclical. And it's sad, but, even Joseph had to save 7 years of grain. People were told throughout the years in the Bible to prepare. You try telling somebody that, no, I don't need to, God will take care of me. God didn't say you sit on your laurels and you drink your latte and watch your television and your sports and I'll just do everything for you. He never said that. He gave the Israelites food because of the situation that he created to get them out of Egypt. And then, of course, they created their own problem by creating a calf to worship. So the Lord can supernaturally take care of you. He made their clothes so they didn't wear out. And if they died off, the clothes just were handed down to somebody else, right? Folks, you were told to prepare. I've told people for decades to prepare for this time coming. As a matter of fact, I told him to prepare for the time here. I've watched in the stores since 2020 when I watched where I was in Belding, Michigan, and I could buy meat for 99 cents a pound or $1.99 a pound, or, burger was $1.99 a pound, or even less sometimes. Pork chops or pork steak or chicken thighs, 99 cents a pound. I got up here, beef went from $3.99 a pound to $12.99 a pound in a month. Of course, that was short-lived and went back down, and then, of course, now it's like $20 a pound in some cases. And filet mignon, $20, $30 a pound. And it's not even filet mignon. What they've done is glued meat together, put it in a circle, or they roll it up, freeze it for 24 hours, then take it out and cut it and slice it up, and then call it filet mignon and sell it to you for an expensive price when it's just cheap-ass meat. It's all a scam. This whole CV-19 thing was a scam to begin with. The white horse ran, and the white horse with the bow. The bow, look the word bow up in the concordance, it's fabric. It's fabric. And the mask looks like a bow tie when you first start it before you put it together. Okay, and it was on the $20 bill. I showed people on the 2017 engraved $20 bill, the mask was on it. I showed somebody in the store and they said, "Oh my God, it is on there." I said, "Yeah, all the disasters are too, including the Hoover Dam in Manhattan, which hasn't happened yet." So if the rest of them have already happened, but they were on the money, including the Twin Towers and the Pentagon was on the $20 bill, what makes you think that the Hoover Dam in Manhattan is not going to happen too? They've got it on there. They planned it. The Illuminati card game that came out in 1995 has Trump saying enough is enough. They actually, before that card, they had him when he's on top of the world, which I'm not going to get into that round flat thing either, because I know and I don't believe what the Satanists from NASA tell you, because I've seen too many lies from them. But at any rate, they had him with a flag, I think it was wrapped around himself, on top of the world. Obama, in 2007, I told people he was going to get 2 terms and you won't get rid of him. They called me a lunatic. That was after I told them food shortages were coming. And that was after I told them in 2005 martial law was going to end up coming. And the food shortages are going to be used for martial law. You know how that works? You know how I've been telling you that the prices are really high? People are going to riot. I'm telling you, people are going to start killing people for food. And martial law is already beginning. It's already happening, folks. I have 8 acres. I've actually been thinking about putting tiny houses on here and renting them out for cheap. I wouldn't even charge anybody. I just have them help me do work around here, but I can't afford to do that. I can pay for one, but then if I rent it, then I got to pay for another one, and then so on. And that's how it is. I keep telling people, I tell business people, if I buy something, or if I buy it on a time like this tiny house, which I probably would, because I built enough stuff. I put all my cash and all my energy into this place, and I'm tired. I'm just totally wore out, whipped, tired, and I can't do it anymore like that. And if I buy something, I told him, I said, if I'll get it here or there. I said, unless everything crashes, which I hope it don't, but it's going to. I already know it will. I just didn't tell them that. The banks are going to shut down. You won't have any cash. You won't be able to barter. Gold and silver will be made illegal. These are facts, folks. They did it before, they'll do it again. If you think they won't, you got nothing coming. And for all you people with 401ks, if you haven't got your money out of there, I don't care if you have to take a bunch of crunch. I would get it out of there. Give them half if you have to. But at least you'll have something, because when it all goes away, you got nothing. You got nothing. That's the way it is, folks. I'm telling you facts. I'm telling you the truth. And get Christ in your life. Because, folks, that's all we got. And I'm struggling. I am struggling to get myself right with the Lord. I keep working and I keep playing away and I keep asking, what, Lord, why is it that some people can just change overnight and I have to work at it every day of my life? And for 62 years, I've had this battle, all these battles I'm talking about that I don't talk about. I've seen demons and I've seen angels. The Lord has let me see the spiritual realm. I was privileged, but it was also scary. I've seen things that most people would have a heart attack for. I'm not kidding. I've experienced things that I wouldn't wish on anybody. But I'm telling you, folks, they're coming. They're coming in the form of humans to get you. The reptilians are in people. They're made like people. They look like people, but they're not. And for some of the other ones, they're demonically overtaken. Demons have just possessed them, and you can't change them. There's no redemption for them. People like Miley Cyrus and, Bob Dylan. People mention about Bob Dylan and Christ. Bob Dylan gave himself to the devil. All these people could repent if they wanted to, but they won't. Madonna, she's taken. J-Lo, Jay-Z, they're taken. They'll be taken. And Swiftie, the serpent seed. You ever seen her videos and paid attention? She's a serpent. Her and Lady Gaga both, they were up on stage and their eyes turned white. I mean, completely white. And then you look at Justin Timberlake's No More Angels on the Dance Floor. What do you think that's about? It's about getting rid of you and me. Because we got put in this clay body. So he throws his doppelganger, which is a twin of himself, in the trunk of a car with a worm eating him. No more angels on the dance floor. In other words, the sheep from Christ, they're chasing you. And they're going to kill as many of us as they can. Get ready, folks. You ain't seen nothing yet. I'm out.